mentioned for Cade, he had a quad contusion leading up to the FSU game. I'm just curious, how much has he been able to practice this week with that and the ankle injury?
Yeah, ankle's good. I mean, he didn't really have any problems in the game from the ankle, but he could hardly walk last week because of his thigh was so just swollen and blown up. Got better each day, and sure enough, he was right. He was ready on game day, but he's a lot better. I mean, he's a lot better than he was this time. Last week couldn't even practice, so he's doing better.
Talked about the promotion of Dennis Love to the head strength job. I guess was that basically completely decided in the summer?
Oh yeah. We didn't have a choice. It was either that or he's going to be the strength coach for the Vikings right then. So we that was a easy decision, and knew eventually that might happen, but wasn't exactly sure. With Joey, and then Joey decided that this was going to be it. And again, Joey, as y'all know, has had to battle some health things, and then the Vikings thing came along, and he interviewed for the job and was offered the job, and it was I mean, it's really unbelievable. It's really unprecedented. There's only 32 of those jobs, but for him to stay here, and so we had to kind of work that out in the summer. But he's excited, and we're all excited. This has been a dream job for him, and he's been around multiple places, NFL, different schools, but he's one of the most respected guys out. That's why he had the opportunity to go be one of 32 NFL guys. It's just who he is, his reputation. Guys come from all over to train with him. He's had that. He's done that for years. So I'm happy for him, and I'm glad it worked out. And that was a tough 24 hours for him, to make a decision like that. And but it all worked out, and Joey was excited. The players are excited, and so he'll take it over in January. And but that's not new news. That's been the same news since the summer.
He came home back in 2022. Did you have an idea then that maybe you could be, someone in the future?
For sure.
And then how is he maybe different than Joey? Maybe what would kind of change?
He's very different. I mean, he's just like I said, he's been in a bunch of places, and just has he's a different person. Different leadership style, different communication style. I mean, he's just different in a lot of areas, but. He'll put his own. I mean, he's learned a lot from Joey, who's been amazing, for years and years and years. But he'll put his own stamp on it. And again, he's one of the most respected guys out there. That's why he's had the opportunities that he's had. And I would say, and that was kind of the decision, was you can go. But we're gonna be calling you back in January, and now do you want to move twice? And so there was a lot of conversation, and listen, honestly, if it wasn't for Graham, he Graham had to, obviously, I mean, couldn't just be, a wink and a nod. Like, there had to be a lot of conversation with, for him to have enough comfort to stay, because that's such a huge opportunity. But this is where he wanted to be. This is what he's always wanted to do, and he's trained for it forever. He's incredibly smart, very detailed, and again, just knows the kids. They love him, and again, I mean, just has great relationships, and he has great resources all across the country that I think will be a lot of fun to see him implement here at Clemson.
Dabo, you mentioned it Saturday night, but to look up in the stadium and see the crowd and the environment and the support in spite of the season that you guys have had at times, what do you think that means to this team?
I mean, that's Clemson, and that's who they are, and it was awesome. I mean, just you could see it, you could feel it on the bus coming around. You could just feel the juice from the crowd, and it hasn't been the season that we wanted or worked for or expected. But I mean, that's Clemson. They show up, always have. I mean, this ain't the first disappointing season around here. It's the first one in a long time for us. It's been, like I said many times, since 2010, since we've had a year like this. But I mean, they showed up then, and 15 years later, they're still showing up. But that's just who Clemson is. I mean, they love their Tigers, always have. There's been some lean years around here, especially back in the 90s, but I wasn't here then, but I'm sure they were showing up because that's Clemson. That's just who they are. They support the Tigers, and it means a lot to the players, to be able to have a venue like we have to play in. And so that was a great night in the Valley. Got one more.
Have you had any conversations with Clay since his 2-point conversion? And I got to ask if Kath knew that was coming and what her reaction was.
No, she had no idea. She was mad. She's like, how come I didn't know he was? I said, well, I mean, she's on a need-to-know basis. No, she had no idea. But we put it in. We put it in Tuesday, and we said, hey, first touchdown, we're gonna run this and get two. It really should have been just an absolute walk, but we had, Cuddy kind of came off the double team. One guy came outside, so Cuddy takes him. The linebacker stayed inside. Blake comes off it, so we got to work on our double team technique a little bit. But should have just been a walk. But a good job, we got it in there and just about enough, and it was a good momentum play. It was just something that we had on tape, and we're like, well, why not go up 2 scores? Because I mean that's what it is. Because you got to score, and now you got to go run another play for a 2-point. So it was a good momentum play for us, kind of set the tone, and then later on being up 15-0, now it's 3 scores, and so just well executed, especially by Walker Parks and Dietrich Pennington. They did a great job, and good play.
Another big night for Gideon. Just what do you continue to see out of him in an expanded role?
Confidence. Yeah, just confidence, and just really, game is slowing down for him. He's doing a good job with his protections. He's, he's confident in the passing game. They did a nice job on the screen, just his timing of it, just the little nuances that come with being a complete player and really being able to understand the totality of what we're asking them to do at that position. Footwork, ball handling, understanding the schemes. He's got really natural vision. He's a powerful kid. He can get low to the ground. I mean, he had one run that, it looked like we were going to get 4, and he got about 8 because he's got really good, balance and really explosive lower body power.
You study Louisville every year, pretty much defensively. Do you feel like they're playing a little more coverage, a little less pressure this year? They're just not giving up a lot of explosives relative to previous years. No,
they're just playing really good. I mean, again, the secondary guys have played a lot of snaps. I mean, it's basically 4 down. A lot of 1 high safety, whether it's cover 1 or what I call cover 10, 1 hole, or some type. They are mixing in some zone concepts, but I mean they're really good defense. They get after you up front, and they can create some havoc, especially with those edge guys. But they're a ball control offense too. I think it all goes together. They kind of just the style of play. They don't make a lot of busts, not a lot of busts. Again, you can just that's why they're what are they like? Top 15 or something like that in the country. They've done a nice job, really good. So we got to play well. We got to execute with precision against these guys.
Are you preparing for multiple quarterbacks? I don't know. Jeff Brom is not explicitly committed to Moss as the starter as of yesterday.
I mean, they're not going to change their offense. They're going to do what they do. So we're just preparing for schematically who they are. They're very committed to run it. It don't matter who's back there, they're going to run that ball. You better stop the run. Somebody's handing that ball off. You better stop the run. especially when it comes to the stretch and getting cut backside, getting cut in half, and guys gashing you on the cutback. So that ain't going to change. And so that's where it starts. And they ran through us. I mean, it was embarrassing to watch last year.
If they get their running game going, how hard does that make it on your linebackers, sort of getting sucked into the play action?
Linebackers and the safeties, all your run fitters. I mean, it's a challenge. That's why you've got to be able to minimize that. If they get a lot of comfort in the run game and they can play on schedule and be in those 3rd and 3 and 4s, you got a lot of it on your plate. So it's just what they do. So we got to have a great plan. We do, and we got to go execute it. But it starts, again, point of attack, being disruptive, understanding, what your problems are and how to attack them. A lot of conflict, and not just with it's just conflict on how they move, how they formation, how they motion, and create some challenges there with your eye discipline. So they do a good job with it. I mean, they really do. A lot of play action, a lot of max pro where they're not releasing a lot of guys, so it looks really run, and then here's a shot, coming in behind it, creating space because your backers are downhill, and so you're creating some space. So again, we got to do a good job coverage-wise, and then I think the other thing too, you got to do a great job of changing things up, because he's got a great feel for his offense. He's got a great feel for if this, then that.